Hello and welcome to Introduction to Listing Policies and Procedures. Today we're going to take just a few minutes to go through the most commonly asked policies and procedures questions as they relate to inputting a new listing into Flex MLS. Data integrity is very important to us, so we do go through and review every single listing that is entered into the system to make sure that it is as accurate as it possibly can be. Everything you currently see on the screen are the items that we go through and double check on every listing that is entered into the system. Please keep in mind that you do have 48 hours from the start term of the contract to enter your listing into Flex MLS, with federal holidays being excluded from that time period. We want to make sure that we are using whatever is found on line 311. This is for the single family listing agreement, where it says term of contract as our listing date. It's quite possible that your seller signed that listing agreement a day or even a week or two prior to that start term, but your contract has not begun until that term of contract has been reached. When entering your listing into Flex MLS on main fields, please match the listing date field with the term of contract listing date and the expiration date with the expiration date field. For a listing to be active in the system, it has to meet two main criteria. The first is that the property can be shown in a cooperative manner, meaning that if a property is not available for showings for more than a 48-hour period of time, that listing cannot be in the system as an active listing. The second is that it offers compensation to cooperating brokers. Keep in mind, the expectation is that if a property is active in the system, it is available for showings. If your property is not available for showings when you first enter your listing into the system, it can be entered in as a delayed listing, meaning that the property can be delayed for showings for up to 21 days from that term of contract. Days on market begin only after it becomes active in the system. It is searchable prior to being active. However, it can only be sent out via manual emails. It will not go out through subscription emails or to third-party websites until that property goes active. Marketing can be done like normal when these properties are in delayed status. However, no showings of any kind can occur. No showings of any kind does mean no agent previews, brokers opens, or members of the public going through that property. If you're going to be delaying your listing, please, when you enter your listing, change the status from active to delayed under main fields. Once you make this change, a start showing calendar will pop up for you. Go ahead and enter in the date you would like your showings to begin. The system will automatically make that listing go active for you at midnight going into that date. We do require a form, the seller's authorization to delay showings. That form can be found on metromls.com. If you hover over resources, forms and profile sheets, and then select seller's authorization to delay showings. The companion piece to the delayed listing is the withdrawn listing status. You may have a situation where a seller cannot have showings for an extended period of time while their listing is active. So we do ask that you go in and withdraw that listing until showings can resume. During that time period, all of your regular listing activity can take place as far as your sign being up, social media posts. The only thing you cannot do is show that listing during that time period, just like in delayed status. No showings of any kind does mean no agent previews, brokers opens, or members of the public going through that property. Keep in mind that while it's in delayed or withdrawn status, that is an absolutely no-go zone. And this is why. If we find out that the property was showed while either in delayed or withdrawn the listing status, the first time offense is going to be $200 per day. So if we find out that the property was shown on day 10, what's to say the agent did not show it on day 1? So in that example, it would be a $2,000 sanction. If an agent does it a second time in a 2-year period, the sanction does double to $400 per day. So in that example, it would be a $4,000 sanction. If an agent does it a third time in a 2-year period, they lose MLS access for 30 days. If they do it a fourth time in a 2-year period, the whole office gets shut off for 30 days. And if somehow the agent is still in the business and does it a fifth time in a 2-year period, they lose MLS access for 6 months. So again, no showings of any kind does mean no agent previews, brokers opens, or members of the public going through that property. Within that 48-hour time period from the start term of contract, you will need to upload the first, third, and last page of your listing contract. This is for single family listing types. All other listing types should have any pages with fillable information uploaded. Within 7 days from the start term of contract, you do need at least one photo uploaded to the system. Metro MLS does allow you to enter in unlimited photos. However, I would recommend that you order your photos accordingly. Most third-party sites will only take the first 25 photos. Some will only take the first 4. So when you're ordering your photos, number one, make sure that the first picture is an exterior photo shot. And then your next few photos are ones you want to make sure that members of the public are able to see through those third-party sites. On those photos, we do not allow any words, real estate signs, logos, or watermarks. We do understand that during the course of your listing, you may be changing out photos. If we see a sign in the photo, we do go through and Photoshop that out for you free of charge. You do not need to let us know that the sign is there. If it is a primary photo, we will see it and automatically remove it. I just ask that if your sign must be in the photo, that you take it from an angle that's easy for us to remove. Things like siding, grass, bushes, concrete are really easy for us to duplicate. Please avoid reflective surfaces such as windows and doors. When your listing is entered into the system, it does go out to all the third-party sites as well as to subscription emails for any listing that is in the system is active. We hear from a lot of agents that their buyers are not taking the time to look at properties that do not have at least one photo. So if you're waiting for that perfect sunshiny day or waiting for a photographer to come out, I would recommend taking a photo with your cell phone and uploading that as a place saver until your regular photos can begin, and then just swapping those out. I want to briefly touch on the difference between taxi municipality and postal municipality. Sometimes those can vary. So if you go to wire data where it says tax by, whatever it says this property is taxed by is what you need to enter in for your taxi municipality. In this example, it is Wauwatosa. However, when it comes to the postal municipality, you may have several options to choose from. If you go to USPS.com, Quick Tools, and look up a zip code, once you enter in the zip code and click Find, it will give you all the options that you have for the postal municipality. So 53207 is serviced by both Milwaukee as well as Bayview's post offices. So I have my choice as to which I would like to use for my postal municipality. When I'm entering in my listing, after I enter in the zip code under the address tab, on the main fields tab, my postal municipalities will be unlocked as that drop-down indicates, allowing me to choose either Bayview or Milwaukee. Address formatting is very important to us at Metro MLS as it allows us to tie the listing history for the property together. And properties that with firehouse addresses, such as the one indicated on your screen, normally when you write out the address, you would put the space between the two components. However, for our system, you lump them all together. So N123 W4567. For properties with multiple addresses, such as the 2146-2148, you would enter in this first street number under street number, and then any additional addresses under the unit number / additional addresses tab. For condos, even if the official address uses the word unit or has the pound sign, we drop those off. So under the unit number / additional addresses, I would just enter in 5 in this example. Please make sure that you're using the appropriate abbreviations for avenue, boulevard. As you can see, we always abbreviate and we never use punctuation. Again, it's important to make sure you're using the correct abbreviations in order for the history to tie together for that property. Okay, variable rate commission situation. These are important to understand, even if your company does not allow you to take them, that there may be additional responsibilities involved for you as an agent working with the buyer. So a variable rate commission is any time the seller agrees to pay a total percentage in commission different based upon who procures that buyer. So if I'm Jared Realty and I say Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if Jared Realty brings in a buyer, on our listing, it'll only be a 4% commission. However, if an outside company brings in a buyer, it'll be a 5% commission. The reason that needs to be disclosed is it is a consumer protection. Because if you're bringing in an offer against one of my offers on that same property and our terms are pretty close to each other, your buyer may be at a disadvantage of 1% of the purchase price because the seller is paying 1% less in commission. And as a buyer working with that, as a buyer's agent working with that buyer, you have the right to call me up and say, hey, Jared, I want to write in your 123 Main Street. I see it's variable rate commission. What's the difference in the rate? And according to Standard of Practice 3-4, the Realtor's Code of Ethics, I would have to disclose that differential. So in the example I just gave, I would have to tell you that it is a 1% difference. That way you have the opportunity to educate your buyer. Accepted offers do need to be reported to the MLS within 48 hours of acceptance as either active with offer or pending. Active with offer, meaning that the listing is continuing to be shown and is accepting secondary offers, or as pending, meaning no more showings and no more offers are being accepted. However, if an offer does have a bump clause due to a home sale contingency, that property can remain active in the system, since that is the only situation where a secondary offer can be made primary without the primary offer falling apart first. So again, just ask yourself the question, are we still showing the property? Are we still accepting secondary offers on that property? If the answer is yes, active with offer. If the answer is no, pending. We are also part of what is called WIREX, which stands for the Wisconsin Real Estate Exchange. This is a partnership between MLSs in the state of Wisconsin that incorporates the offer of cooperation and compensation to carry over between our members regardless of MLS of entry. As part of this, we have inclusive search. One search and all the results. So regardless of which MLS your listing is entered into, if it matches your search criteria, you will receive all of those listings. The only exceptions are Door County, as well as northeastern Wisconsin. Everywhere else in the dark blue area on our map is available as part of the WIREX network. If you have questions regarding policies and procedures and would like to review them yourself, please go to www.metromls.com. Hover over Resources and select Rules and Procedures. Our staff at Metro MLS is here to help you Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. Anytime you have a question regarding policies and procedures, a question on a listing, please don't hesitate to reach out to our administrative staff. Our admin team is fantastic at answering all of your questions. Their phone number is 414-778-5400, or you can also reach them via email, admin@metromls.com.